yunga, duya yunga yunga. Rekani siebe siebe, rekani siebe siebe, rekani siebe siebe, rekani siebe siebe. Tiga jetenge we, tiga jetenge, tiga jetenge, tiga jetenge. Ekai sunge sunge asi, ekai sunge sunge, ekai sunge sunge, ekai sunge sunge. Baba 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 baba.
Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, all protocols observed. Good evening. Good evening once again. Alumni. Yes, when I say alumni, you say alumni, all right? So alumni, my name's Hannah Nyama. I'm one of the MCs for the evening. I'll be co-MCing with...
Hi everyone. My name is Kenneth Sawe. I'm stepping in for our organizing secretary, Mr. Barak Muluka. So when you see me, you are seeing Barak Muluka. Sawa sawa. Thank you, thank you.
All right. I'd like to recognize the presence of our chief guest, Dr. Abdi Mali Mohammed. I'd also like to recognize, in absentia, he's on the way coming. I'd like to also recognize the presence of our keynote speaker, Dr. Kerene Moringo. Kerene, welcome. I'd also like to recognize the presence of our Vice Chancellor, Professor Peter Mbidi. Yes, I'd like to also recognize the presence of Professor Madara, DVC, RPE. I'd also like to recognize the presence of UONAA, University of Nairobi Alumni Association Chair, Dr. Aundo.
He's just stepped in. This is Dr. Hastings Oswaras, who is representing the chairman, Mr. Isaac Awondo, who could not make it today.
All right. Then I'd also like to recognize the presence of our principal, College of Health Sciences, Professor Machoki. He's seated right here. I'd like to also recognize the presence of the Director, School of Nursing Sciences, Dr. Miriam Wagoro, seated right here. Okay. I'd also like to recognize the presence of a special group of women called the Nightingales Welfare Association. Just wave wherever you're seated, please. The Nightingales, represented by Professor Kerene, Dr. Kerene. Okay, then I'd also like to recognize our distinguished guests, the alumni. Alumni? All right, thank you. All right, to start the program, we'd like to start off with a word of prayer. I'd like to call upon one of our alumni. She's a master's student. She's specializing in perioperative nursing, theater nursing. Her name is Elizabeth Musyoki.
Shall we bow down for a word of prayer? Heavenly Father, we come before Thee this evening with thanksgiving in our hearts, O God. We thank You for fellowship, King of glory, and that, God, we are able to gather here with a unity of purpose. And we pray that, God, You go ahead of us. Whatever it is we deliberate, we pray that, God of glory, You will go ahead of us. We lay our plans bare before Thee. We commit them before You, O God, because through You we will be able to achieve much more. Thank You for the evening. We pray that it will be a success. In Jesus' name I do pray, believing and trusting.
Thank you, Elizabeth. So moving on our program, we'll start by getting welcome remarks by the Director, School of Nursing, Dr. Miriam Wagoro. Let's give a round of applause as she comes to take the podium.
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. I know there are guests who have not been recognized. The Chief Administrative Officer in the Ministry of Environment, Dr. Mohamed Elmi, Honorable Member of Parliament for Kajiado, Honorable Ole Sankok. Yes. It's my pleasure to welcome all of us. We thank you so much. We know that there are many things that you had selected for this evening, but you've left all that to come here we promise you that the experience that you'll get here, you will realize that it was worth spending. Thank you very much, and relax.
Good evening, everyone, again. My name is Kenneth Sawe. I'm the Executive Director of the University of Nairobi Alumni Association. I'm just here to welcome all of you for this event. We have planned for this event for the last 3 months, just to have you to come, reunite, engage, network, and meet each other. I know some of you haven't seen each other for the last 20 years, others for the last 1 year, some graduated last year. So I just want to say welcome. As an association, we are proud to have you here today. We organize such events so that we can have our alumni to come, reunite, engage, and see how we can support our alma mater, because our slogan for our association is our alumni is our strength. And we know is that through alumni we are able to grow, we are able to support our university, and we are able to even grow as professionals. I am not a nurse myself, but I admired nurses when I was growing up, and I couldn't miss this day. So I know my chairman will speak about what the association has been doing. Mine was just to invite you and say, karibuni sana, muji enjoy. Please do not be in a hurry. We put this day on 11th because tomorrow is a holiday. So you have enough time to enjoy yourself so that tomorrow you can relax. So without much ado, I want to say karibuni sana and feel welcomed by the University of Nairobi Alumni Association. Later the board will be introduced, and you'll know who are your board members who are present with us today. So karibuni sana and asanteni sana.
All right. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to recognize the presence of our chief guest, Dr. Abdi Maalim Daba. Kindly, could you wave? Let's.
50 years ago, the need to have nursing education at the University of Nairobi was actualized. After many struggles and failed attempts, the Department of Advanced Nursing was finally born under the Faculty of Medicine then in 1968. We grew under the Faculty of Medicine for 38 years until 2006, when the School of Nursing was born. We owe our achievement to many senior colleagues, some of whom have joined the Nightingale's Nurses Association of Kenya. Some have moved to work in various areas. And please allow me, on behalf of the school, to proudly acknowledge the founders and supporters of nursing education and its inception to the current status at university level. The former chief nursing officers at the Ministry of Health. The first one was Dr. Eunice Mungyo-Kiriene, who is also our chief, who is also our keynote speaker tonight. Dr. Tabitha Odwori and Margaret Ngure, are they in the house? I saw, yes, she's somewhere there. These senior colleagues really helped the Department of Nursing. And we know, as beneficiaries of Diploma of Advanced Nursing, we know that that program was fully funded courtesy of the former chief nursing officers. We additionally know that there was a very popular bus which used to be referred to as public health. The younger alumni may not know, but the older ones know that there was a public health bus because of the color that looks like the public health nurses' uniform today. The former heads of nursing education at the university, Mrs. Sarah Kangori, if I mention your name, please, if you are here, you wave. Mrs. Jadida Wachira, Mrs. Pauline Muhuhu, Professor Ruth Gatere, who is now in Kemu, Dr. Margaret Muiva, Ms. Chia, the UN agencies that initiated and have consistently demonstrated the need for nursing at the higher level of education. The need to establish nursing education was realized and was supported by the UN agencies, WHO, UNICEF, and others, because they realized that it doesn't matter whether other health professionals are educated to the very high level. If you do not have a nurse who is educated at a higher level, then you cannot achieve better health outcomes, because nurses form 50% of all other healthcare professionals put together. and they perform up to 80% of health services in any country, and therefore entrusting the health of the population with nurses who are not well trained would be taking the population downwards and will not be able to achieve Vision 2030 today. Some of the achievements that we have had in the school are the growth in number of students from initial 20 students at the establishment of DIN, or Diploma in Advanced Nursing, to the current over 650 students. Expansion of staff from the initial 6 members of staff to the current 30, and we hope it will grow. Growth of programs from a single diploma program to the current 3 main programs, some of which are now being offered using the e-technology. And with such growth, ladies and gentlemen, we realize that it's important to provide a platform for reunion to celebrate milestones and achievements and strategize on giving back to the university and charting the way forward for nursing beyond the 21st century. In the philosophy that we have, that is passion for caring and transforming lives. We in the School of Nursing consider our alumni as a vehicle of making reunion happen, and with the golden celebration, we launch this Nursing Alumni Chapter with a bang that we have here today. And we believe that our alumni are the various capital that we need for investing in achieving vision for nursing in the 21st century and beyond. Ladies and gentlemen, it is important that we have the human, financial, and intellectual capital that our alumni have. We have innovative alumni. We are very proud because they win competitive scholarships. As we speak, there is one in the University of Oxford who had won the prestigious Rhodes Scholarship. We also have in our midst Mr. John Kiragu, who had competitively won, and he is nominated as the 1,000 youth in terms of innovations for SDGs, and he won this in Copenhagen, and we are very proud of him. At the School of Nursing, we believe that we produce graduates who are holistic, who have passion for nursing, who transform people's lives. And for this to happen, we need to work together. And our graduates work in all sectors, including hospital environment, the political wing. In our midst, we have the Chief Administrative Secretary, Ministry of Environment. And we have Dr. Abdi. We have members of parliament. I've seen one from Mandera. We have the member of parliament whom I had also introduced earlier. Ladies and gentlemen, allow me now to take you to our vision for the School of Nursing. As a leader in excellence, nursing education, clinical nursing consultancies, research and innovations, we envisage a school with at least 5 departments with respective thematic units. These will include clinical nursing with different specialties, reproductive health including obstetric nursing and midwifery, administration, leadership and education, nursing and health research and innovation, public and community health nursing. We also envisage a school which is ultra-modern, with world-class educational and research complex, with nursing and health research and innovation center, students business center, wellness center, comprehensive skills laboratory in all thematic units of nursing, alumni center with business and accommodation facilities, so that our students can enjoy the benefits of being an alumni. And we are alive to the fact that we cannot be an island, as this goes against the social nature of man. It will be our pleasure to work with all alumni and friends who are here tonight in realizing these contributions or these achievements. We know that nurses today, as we work, we are like bacteria under the microscope. So we need to be very, very cautious on how we transact our business at the bedside and how we do research and many other businesses that we do. We say that when you throw a stone in the hospital, in any health facility, 50% of the time you will hit a nurse. Not because the nurses are the ones who make most mistakes, but the nurses are many. So the probability of hitting them is very high. But if we take a lot of caution, the probability may come from 50 to 45. Ladies and gentlemen, we want to thank you very much for coming here. Together we believe that we can make School of Nursing greater and transform lives if we care. Thank you all. May God bless you. God bless the School of Nursing. God bless the University of Nairobi. Thank you very much. Some of us, the nurses in the room, may know that we lost a faculty. The faculty who was very dedicated, the faculty who has mentored many nurses and students. And now it's time that we want to observe 1 minute silence in honor of our departed faculty. Ladies and gentlemen, may we stand for 1 minute.
In our presence, we also have a representative from Public Service Commission, Mrs. Buayo. She's seated somewhere. Welcome. In our presence, we have former Registrar Nursing Council, current Vice Chair of Hexacon, Madam Elizabeth Oyuer. We recognize your presence. In our presence, we also have Honorable Abdi Kadir Ore. He's a nurse by profession, and he ventured into politics. So alumni should know you don't just focus on the bedside. You can broaden and venture into politics. He's the MP of Wajir West. In our presence, we also are honored to have a nominated Member of Parliament, David Ole Sankok. He was my classmate, a student leader, and at this rate, I think I should also be thinking about vying for governorship. And feel most welcome. In our presence, we also have Honorable Mohammed Elmi. He's passionate about the mentally ill, psychiatric nurse. In our presence, we have a group of young ladies, young at heart, passionate about nursing profession. A group of nurses called the Nurses Welfare Association. They're about 5 or 6. I'd love for them to stand up because these are the backbone of nursing. If they gave up when they were in the leadership position, I don't think we'd have a school of nursing at the moment. So kindly, the Nightingale Welfare Association, ladies, they're about 5. Okay, feel most welcome. In our presence, I'd like to recognize Professor Ndavi from College of Health Sciences. I can see him cringing in the seat. Yes, he's our brother from the same college. I'd like to recognize Mr. George Nyandimo, Pumwani Maternity Hospital. George, yes, we always take our students there for midwifery experience, and George has been instrumental in facilitating that. I'd like to recognize the presence of the Director Nursing Services from the Ministry of Health. Her name is Dr. Mary Nandili. Mary Nandili, Daktari, she's wearing, I think, 3 capes tonight. She's here representing the CS, Honorable Cicely Kariuki. She's coming representing the PS, Mr. Adongo, and in her own individual capacity. Thank you so much for coming. So moving on our program, I'm humbled and honored to welcome our Principal, College of Health Sciences, Professor Machoki. Welcome.
Yeah, thank you very much. The Vice Chancellor of the University of Nairobi, Professor Bithi, Chairman, University of Nairobi Association, represented by Dr. Hastings Onzwara, Chief Guest, Dr. Daba Abdi Mahalim, Commissioner, Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission, and Nursing Sciences Alumnus. Keynote speaker, Dr. Maringo Kiareni, Patron, Kenya Nightingale Welfare Association. Members of University of Nairobi Alumni Association, Executive Board present. Members of University of Nairobi Management present. All the legislators present. That includes one of my favorites, as I did recognize that my brother, in one way or the other, I think I told you we have some origins, we have some roots together. We'll be touching base and retrace our roots at some point. Your contribution I watch very closely in Parliament. Student leaders at present, partly why we are really gathered here, because School of Nursing would be a shell without the students. And our student leaders present, I'd like you please to stand up so that we can give you a huge round of applause. Students present who are here, all the students and the student leaders present, please appreciate them. That's why we are all gathered here. Yeah, please be seated and eat to your satisfaction, but no whiskey, please, because, and a few others. Okay. University of Nairobi alumni and distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good evening. On behalf of the College of Health Sciences, I would like to welcome you all to the launch of Nursing Sciences Alumni Chapter and the 50th anniversary celebrations for the School of Nursing Sciences and the College of Health Sciences. The School of Nursing Sciences is one of the schools under the College of Health Sciences, University of Nairobi, as you've been already told by the director. The College of Health Sciences of the University of Nairobi is the leading tertiary healthcare training center in Kenya and the East African region. It was created in 1985 and has its origin in the Faculty of Medicine, which was established in 1968. Since its establishment, the college has registered tremendous growth and expansion to become a complex entity. Currently, it consists of schools of medicine with 14 departments, pharmacy, which was established in 1995 with 3 departments, dental sciences, which was established in 1995 with 4 departments, nursing sciences, which was established in 2004, and public health, which was established in 2010. In addition, the college houses the Institute of Tropical and Infectious Diseases, UNITED in short, Kavi Institute of Clinical Research, the Center for HIV and AIDS Prevention and Research, and the East African Kidney Institute, in short, IAKI, which were established in 2004, 2006, and 2014, respectively. This growth has brought with it increased number of undergraduate and postgraduate programs and an upsurge of local and international collaborations and partnerships with reputable research institutions. This is the way to go as a university, because the university of the 21st century is that which appreciates the power of globalization. Therefore, as a university, we have consciously taken strategies to ensure that we partner with as many global of reputable status as possible. The college is leading in that regard, the College of Health Sciences, and as the director said, School of Nursing Sciences is a great contributor towards that end. As a college, we celebrate the School of Nursing Sciences as it turns 50. This is not a mean achievement. Let me congratulate our team of experienced faculty at the School of Nursing Sciences, led by the director, Dr. Miriam Mwagoro, and our team for the good work they are doing at the school. As you've heard, I've been acting, I'm the acting principal College of Health Sciences, and as acting, usually, and particularly when you didn't have that experience earlier, there are many hurdles you have to climb. But I've come and I've verbalized this in public before. The School of Nursing has given me, Vice Chancellor, I can report today, minimal headache in terms of, and I've said it before, I think they deserve a clap. I know we are a university that which wants to set standards, even in timekeeping, even in meeting deadlines set by the management. And I think the few times I have not met those deadlines, it's not School of Nursing, it's others. I will not, for security reasons, because I have to reach home, mention them today. I have a fairly young family. Please give them another round of applause. She can confirm, I've seen it in a few college academic board meetings and also college management board meetings. It's good to say that which is good and to pronounce it publicly. Let me also recognize the efforts by the former and the current leaders of the school, of whom have played a vital role in making what the School of Nursing Sciences what it is today. I do note that the director has already recognized many past eminent scholars from the school. I will not really repeat that, but I also, as a principal, I want to recognize them because I can identify with almost half of them because we have grown together with them also at the college. And so I do know a lot of them. For me, really, as the principal, is to say these are the great heroes of that school. And I think partly why we are here today and why I've enjoyed working with the School of Nursing Science, and among others, of course. The others have given me a lot of support for sure. But it's always good to mention that one who has always been the leading, even in our homes, we know that. It's about these past heroes, and they really deserve all of them. I think she mentioned all of them. I have all of them also in my speech. And I appreciate all that. And we wish them good health and God's blessings as they continue mentoring many others. As a college, we are grateful for the service you have continued to render to the School of Nursing, all of you. To our distinguished alumni gathered here today, led by the University of Nairobi Alumni Association Executive Committee, I want to thank you for coming together today to celebrate with us the launch of the Nursing Alumni Chapter. I also wish to thank the association for launching the Medicine Alumni Chapter, Pharmacy Alumni Chapter, and most recently the Dental Sciences Alumni Chapter in March this year. And I think it's good to recognize the director of that school, who is also present here, and Regina Mtave. I think, please a round of applause for Regina. She's sitting right here. Yes. She has also given me great support, Vice Chancellor, and I always appreciate the support she has given me as the principal of the college currently. I would like to request the Executive Committee of University of Nairobi Alumni Association to work with us next year to launch University of Nairobi Institute of Tropical and Infectious Diseases, UoN, Alumni Chapter, which is also close to my heart. I think for those of you possibly may not know, originally I just wanted to be a clinician and I never ever to appear anywhere near management. And therefore a lot of earlier appointments, even at other quarters, I used to run away from them like leprosy. But at some point I was pushed to UoN. I started as a director, deputy director. Then I progressed to director. Then before I realized I was acting principal college of health sciences, courtesy of vice chancellor. And really therefore, this institute is extremely very close to me. It's one of a kind in Africa. Just to mention possibly the third in terms of what we have and who we are. And I think the day we'll launch this sometimes next year. I think it's a day when possibly I want to extend an invitation to all of you sitting here, and you'll be invited especially, so that it's a day, because it also covers across the entire college. So it's a day possibly when all the schools and the institute of the college were really also celebrating one of their own, which was established at a virtual institute. And you'll hear more about that sometimes next year, and God willing, I believe around March, April. I'm sure the University of Nairobi Alumni Association Executive Director is hearing that. We work very closely. I'm a firm believer that alumni have a greater role in supporting their alma mater, either directly or indirectly. There are many ways, there are many roles you can play. I'm sure you know them, and we'll be looking forward to doing exactly that. I can only say that as leadership of the college, we'll try and provide that which is required to ensure that you achieve that which you want to achieve for the School of Nursing Sciences. I challenge the chapter officials, therefore, to work closely with us at the college and at the school for betterment of the nursing profession. In conclusion, I want to wish the School of Nursing Sciences all the best as you start the next journey of life after birthday, which I believe is poised for greatness. Let me also thank all the nursing stakeholders gathered here tonight from the Ministry of Health, led by the representative of the CS, and we really appreciate that. The Minister of Health ourselves as a college through KNH is very dear and close to us, and I'm pleased to note that of late there has been quite close collaboration, the partnership with the college, and I really appreciate that right from the level of the CS and the peers. And we do appreciate that as a college and as a university in general. Council of Governors present, Nursing Council of Kenya, and the Public Service Commission. We thank you for the support you have accorded graduates from the University of Nairobi in general. Let me also take this opportunity as I conclude to wish you all God's blessings, Merry Christmas, and a Happy New Year. Thank you very much. Before I sit, allow me, ladies and gentlemen, to invite our Deputy Vice Chancellor, Research, Production and Extension, to make a few remarks, and at the same time invite our Vice Chancellor, Professor Mbidi. Please welcome Professor Mandara.
Thank you very much. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I think I have the easiest job than everybody who has spoken here. My job is actually to invite our Vice Chancellor to come up and make the remarks. But before I do so, you know, it is very good to see all of you here on the evening before a public holiday. Because some people say it is a good evening because we can stay here longer. But a lot of times when you have these functions in such evenings, people say, well, I don't want to go because I want to do other things. So when we see all of you here, it is good to know that you are actually committed to your alumni chapter. And therefore, let's just clap for ourselves for our commitment. It is now my pleasure to invite our Vice Chancellor, Professor Peter Mbithi, to give the remarks. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, I want to recognize the chair of the University of Nairobi Alumni Association, represented by Dr. Hastings Ozwara. I also wish to recognize our chief guest, Dr. Abdi Maalim, who we are going to be hearing from in a short while. Please welcome. And then our keynote speaker, Dr. Moringo Kireine, who will be hearing from her soon. I also want to recognize the members of the alumni board who have worked very hard to bring us here tonight and many times before. And of course, the management of the university who are here present in many numbers. I want to salute you because you make all this for us. And the entire University of Nairobi alumni, particularly this chapter that we are launching tonight. And all the distinguished ladies and gentlemen. First and foremost, I wish to tell you how delighted I am tonight to join the University of Nairobi Alumni Association and the School of Nursing Sciences for the launch of Nursing Sciences Alumni Chapter and the 50th anniversary celebrations. It is during forum like this that the alumni get together and take opportunity to reunite, to connect and share ideas with the university team on how to make the alma mater prosperous. So I hope that all of us will interact, and it's opportunity for me and the rest of the leadership of the university to hear from you as we network tonight. I also take this opportunity to welcome our chief guest, Dr. Abdi Maalim, who is currently a commissioner with the Ethics and Corruption Commission, and also our proud alumnus. He joined the University of Nairobi in 1987 to pursue diploma in advanced nursing, the highest level of education that nurses could undertake in East Africa that time. And this was only offered at the University of Nairobi. We salute you, sir, and recognize your eminence. Ladies and gentlemen, at my inauguration as Vice Chancellor, I formulated a reform agenda revolving around 10 major strategic issues, namely world-class university status, fundraising, believe you me, resource mobilization and sustainability strategy, infrastructure development, graduate skills advancement program, students' experience on campus, university research, development of a visionary, innovative, and creative leadership, our alumni, our strength, and community service. In order to address all these strategic issues to their logical conclusion, our key stakeholder and strategic partner is our alumni. It is yourself seated here tonight. You are our pillars of strength and a great resource partner. So we intend to enhance the financial resources through establishment of an endowment fund, creation of the University of Nairobi Foundation. And this will do partnering with private sector to finance capital projects and increasing involvement of alumni in fundraising for our alma mater. I am personally most gratified by the efforts made and commitment shown by the association in bringing over 245,000 of our graduates together in a number of similar fora like this one tonight. I urge the association to leverage on technology, especially in their quest to tap our alumni spread across the world. I also feel very pleased to note that the University of Nairobi has been ranked 66 globally on alumni relations. And 300 globally on graduate employability. Although I believe that we can do better, particularly if we continue pulling together as one and sharing ideas on how we can make our alumni, our alma mater, shine globally. I also think that our society should recognize the efforts that we make. Running universities globally is an extremely difficult task. Forget about when you think about running the University of Nairobi. I'm very happy that through you have achieved these global standards, envied by many in the world, in spite of the challenges we face. The university will continue to support the Alumni Association in order for it to play its rightful role in supporting the university. Therefore, on behalf of the entire university, I wish to sincerely thank the association for the support it has continued to offer the university. On a yearly basis, especially with regard to the Students' Bursary Fund, the graduation ceremonies, student prizes, the Innovation Week, University Open Day, and Research Awards, just to mention but a few. As a registered God Life member of this association, I feel proud when I see alumni coming back together in such gatherings to network, engage, and share ideas with the university community on how to take our university to the next level. And I had said that before. I would like, however, to challenge our chapter officials to continue organizing fora like this to bring alumni together to support the school, particularly in infrastructure development, purchase of equipment, and for use of our current students. The director didn't mention previous efforts to support the school. We are there for you. We are going to support you, definitely. But we want also the alumni to come and work with us. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm pleased to point out that the School of Nursing Sciences has grown over the years since inception. As you have been told, the school has now a student population exceeding 650, taking courses from post-basic diploma, BSc Nursing, MSc Nursing, and PhD in various specialties of nursing sciences. Nursing graduates of the University of Nairobi have continued to lead the way globally by winning prestigious scholarships and awards and innovation strategies for solving health problems for the communities. You have been told about one of our graduates who has won the Rhodes Scholarship. The School of Nursing, in partnership with AMREF, has endeavored to increase access to education for diploma nurses and midwives in Kenya through the blended e-learning program. And they are pioneers in this, and we want to continue to offer leadership as a university like we always do. It is indeed remarkable to note that the nursing school prides itself as a regional center in conjunction with the East African Kidney Institute in training renal nurses for the country and the region, with the aim of increasing capacity at the country and regional level for renal service provision and improvement of overall livelihoods of Kenyans through training and research in areas of renal nursing. This is indeed a new area, and we are very supportive. We are looking forward for the new building for the institute coming up very soon. As I start concluding, I wish to challenge again the association to jointly work with the schools and faculties, and at the same time seek partnerships with industry for internship, industrial attachments, and jobs placements for our graduates. The young ones are here, they are listening. They are now very well behaved. The university is up in the sky for every good reason. Such opportunities will equip the graduates with relevant skills, offer them requisite exposure, and help us nurture and develop future generation of young leaders. To the School of Nursing Sciences, a nursing school alumni, I want to say congratulations to all of you. I urge you to continue working together to ensure that you achieve your aspirations. I know that the Principal Prof. Machoki considers you as the peace tablet. He tells me when he comes to the School of Nursing, his blood pressure goes down. So be careful, because when he goes to his office, it goes up. So be following him and take his pressure when he's in his office. You might then know his true blood pressure. Ladies and gentlemen, I did make a remark that running universities is a very difficult job. As a Vice Chancellor, I want to assure you of our commitment to serve the university and to serve you, because you are the most important job for us. And you to continue to be the ambassadors of your great alma mater in all that is good that we need to do, and to be there for your university. On our part, we will work to put the university up there, as you already know, highly ranked, vibrant, visible, and very lately, peaceful also. And I urge the students and the alumni to support this, because there is no meaningful development whatsoever that can be achieved without peace anywhere in any organization. And we must, as alumni, we must, as management, we must, as faculty staff and students, nurture this every day, every hour, all the time, and our alma mater will continue to be great. I thank you tonight very much, ladies and gentlemen, and wish you Godspeed, very Merry Christmas, and very blessed New Year. Thank you.
On our program next, you want to listen to the keynote speaker. Something about this keynote speaker. She is referred to as the modern-day Florence Nightingale. She's a lady of many firsts. She's the first Kenyan African Chief Nursing Officer. She's the first African President of the International Council of Nurses. She has played a role in the establishment of National Nurses Association of Kenya in 1968. She was responsible for many developments, including the inception of the diploma in advanced nursing. And she is, has been renowned to be a consultant with the Rockefeller Foundation. She's the chairman of the Council of the Flying Doctor Society of Africa. She's a trustee of the Ratansi Education Trust. She's a patron, Nightingale Welfare Association. The list goes on and on and on. Let me add, even before she gets on her feet, this lovely, small-framed lady, I asked her, is there something that people do not know about her that she wouldn't mind them knowing tonight? And she told me she actually goes to the gym and she plays golf. How
President's nurse.
Yes, she plays golf. How many nurses in this room play golf? I think I stopped at shopping for the clubs. And so one more thing I'm being reminded, she was also the president of the, she was also the private nurse to the first president of Kenya. Yes. So ladies and gentlemen, it's with great honor and humility to invite Dr. Eunice Kirene to come and address us.
Well, well, well. I don't think there is anything I have or possess you do not know about. Good evening, everybody. Would you forgive me if I do not go to all the protocols by recognizing each and every one of you as a very, very special guest during this very important occasion. Vice Chancellor, excuse me, but I do not mean to be disrespectful. I think it takes a lot of time, and sometimes you go wrong calling people wrong things or not referring to them according to their, how they should be referred to. So I want to recognize each one of you as a very important guest during this period. It is indeed a great privilege to have been asked to give a keynote speech. When I retired, I had hoped that I would be left at peace to do exactly what I was not able to do when I was working with the government. But when I'm asked to come and meet such a unique group of people, I felt I could not resist but say, I will come. Thank you very much for the invitation, Vice Chancellor and the School of Nursing. This evening, I was not given any topic. I was just asked to come and say something. And I said to my two colleagues here, when you say that I should come and say whatever, I have so many whatevers to say, and I have so many things, some good, I could say about nurses, some terrible. But tonight, because it's a celebration, we'll only talk about good things. Because the previous speakers have said nothing but wonderful things about the progress made by this department, run by various committed individuals, nurses of substance, nurses who are going to carry nursing profession in the 21st century, nurses we are proud of. You were introduced to a bunch of old nurses called nightingales. I can assure you they might look old, but they are very, very active in their minds. And I would just like to ask them to stand again, and you see them, so that some of the student nurses who are sitting there will remember these old nurses when they are blessed with the age where we are today. Please stand up, nightingales, and give them a wonderful clap. Thank you. The reason why they are not old, they were able to make it tonight. And they are going to go back tonight. And some of them, you find them doing wonderful things which some of you will not be doing tomorrow morning. They are the founders. They are, if nursing was successful in this country, they are the people who propelled the profession forward. Now, where do I start? First, let me congratulate you on this occasion of the launch of Nursing Sciences Alumni Chapter and celebrating something which I really didn't know that I would be a part in celebrating, the 50th anniversary celebration of the School of Nursing at the University of Nairobi. And very soon you'll hear why. If all of us who are nurses here and doctors, you remember the first lesson we are taught, although we were taught this by our mothers, is to wash our hands, to be clean before you touch the patient. From there, we start learning, and the learning becomes very, very complex and sometimes monotonous. You read anatomy, very difficulty memorizing the names of some of the drugs and wondering whether truly these teachers want you to stay or to go, to discourage you. But you continue. And as we continued wading through this, particularly through nursing education, with those very severe ward sisters watching you like a hawk, we learned how to be trustworthy. You remember when you started nursing, 50% of the people who were in your class left and they didn't continue. At this point, you found yourself wondering whether if the 50% has left, what am I doing here? But you continue, and to see whether you make it or not. But in the midst of this uncertainty, you start looking at the profession and saying there is something good about it. And therefore, you say, I shall give it a go. Nursing, I believe, has been a career for those people who possess fortitude and courage to continue no matter what. And this courage and determination, elucidated by Florence Nightingale, the reformer and the founder of modern nursing, I believe is the cornerstone of the nursing profession today globally. Similarly, starting nursing department at this university, Professor Billy, it was not easy. It required unflinching determination and courage. It took many years of acrimony and protracted argument of the need to advance nursing education in Kenya. There were those in academia and in the ministries of health, particularly doctors, Ministry of Education, who strongly and truly strongly believed, and some of them were married to nurses, and they strongly believed that there was no need for the nurses to get higher education. According to them, such elevated education would be irrelevant and expensive given to the nurses who, after all, receive instructions from doctors. That was their reasoning. We fought. And when I say we fought, we managed to get people in academia in the ministries who then saw our point of view. And we tried to get our colleagues internationally to come visit, to talk to them, and to just persuade and tell them, Kenya being such a fast-growing country, you cannot afford not to have nurses educated at the university level. So we did have people from the World Health Organization, UNICEF, and other world bodies who came and helped us independently, not only to talk and to show our government how important it was to have nurses educated at the university level, but they also said, look, we are going to put money into this program. And that happened, and that is how the diploma in advanced nursing at the University of Nairobi started in 1968. We were the second in Africa, second from Lagos, I think Ibadan, to have a diploma in nursing education at the university. And for that reason, I salute the leadership of the University of Nairobi, because you also had to convince some of your colleagues on this, why the nurses should be given a chance to be at the university. So nurses, you haven't just started fighting now. The fight goes on, and we shall, I'm sure, get there, and we are almost there. Kenya currently, and I'm glad to say, and congratulations, celebrates nursing education that has now reached the highest level, and we can hold our heads high because we are where everybody is in the world, and that is where we should be as Kenyans. Nurses are trained at PhD and postdoctoral levels, a level of education that aims to enhance competence, promote progressive education, and lifelong learning, leading to the production of practitioners who can provide quality care to the communities. This level of learning would qualify nurses, I believe, to sit at the highest policy-making tables of all health matters, including international health forums. Opportunities at global level for nurses is open, and therefore the nurses should also join the market. Equipped with higher learning are the most important factors for anyone to get a job, international job, in any country. And nurses, I believe, and we have heard how well they are doing and how well we believe they are going to do. As nurses continue to acquire higher education, I believe that they need to pay special attention to the changing global environment, especially in areas of information technology and artificial intelligence. What are we talking about when we talk about information technology? Patients and general populations have access now to a very large amount of information, more so than any other time in history. Do you remember that time when a patient would ask you, what is wrong with me, nurse? You say, why do you want to know? You don't have to know. This time, I think sometimes they even know more than we do before we know what is happening. For instance, the Google search engine has a mega bank of all information one could think of. It frightens me. Google has also created information tools for self-diagnosis, and you know that. Possible medications, which we thought was our area of competence and nobody can take it from us, being taken away. Both possible medication in both conventional and alternative medicine. And I'm sure many of you have had to battle with the diagnosis from Dr. Google with your patients. You know, arguing, and sometimes they know, as I say, more than we do. It is possible also to find the best institutions for various diseases or where a patient would like to go. You don't have to tell them go to Kenyatta National Hospital or go to Aga Khan. Maybe they know a better person at the MP Shah and they will tell you the reason why. Do you argue? How do they get this information? So we are dealing with a very, very different kind of people, populations, which was there when we were training. And we have got to learn to be a little bit ahead of them. And all this we can get from institutions of higher learning, research, as we talked earlier, research and research and research. It doesn't matter how simple it looks, that is where the knowledge comes from. And then we have artificial intelligence, AI. This I find is a disruptor, likely to change the manner in which we as nurses and doctors approach the health problems. AI shall improve analytics, accelerate accuracy, reduce fraud, and in health applications, it will achieve security and operational excellence. Again, we have always talked about centers of excellence, particularly where health matters are concerned. So we better watch out. But as far as nursing is concerned, AI, I believe, is likely to create a challenge. And this is seen best, for example, some of you who have been to Japan, where they have already created a prototype of humanized robots. And this robotic nurse is fashioned to mimic human mannerisms, including singing to the patients, reading stories for the patients, and they are working. Robots are already in use, as you know, in manufacturing industry, in the military, for example, especially in the development of drones. Another challenge. Now, I believe it will be a pity if I did not come down to us about the recognition of nurses, nursing and nurses. The important role nurses play, and we have heard some people talk about it, and I'm sure it will be talked about by our chief guest. I believe the role which nurses play, it is indisputable. We have heard and we know they are by far the largest force in the provision of healthcare in the nation, not only in Kenya, in most developing countries. From the highest level, we've got doctors, professors, the university, to the lowest. When you go to the dispensaries, the person you meet there is a nurse, and is the first, he or she is the first contact you have. However, for a long time, and I'm very conscious of the fact that I'm talking when we have some of our colleagues who are in Parliament, and I'm hoping that they are listening. They already know this, but I think it's good to repeat, because when you go to those high positions, you tend to forget what you have left behind. Please don't forget that you have left nurses who are still crying for recognition in terms of their pay, in terms of their conditions of work, and so on. For a long time, I believe, nurses in Kenya have really been neglected. Their pay, their terms of service, leaves a lot to be desired. And the challenge for both national and county governments is to ask. I read in the newspapers there are so many qualified nurses, BSc, who are, as you call it, tamarking, and yet we are talking about lack of health care people who have no jobs because they are not employed. I would plead with you, those people in positions of influence, to remember that you cannot ignore people you have educated at a very, very high cost, and people who are ready to give the service to our community, and yet you are saying you have no money to employ them. This is not in a country like Kenya. We need to see nurses recognized and appointed to leadership positions. We have heard that departments have been created at university level to train nurses in management, to train nurses in communication, to train nurses in any position, because they already have got what is required to get them there. What is more than to be elected as a member of parliament by a whole county as a nurse? Can you clap for that gentleman to do the job? I'll also want to ask the nurses in particular, and the registrar, I'm glad she's here tonight, that we should push, the nurses in Kenya now, should push for legislation which allows for liberal nursing practices. There are some practices we used to say the nurse cannot do that. And we are being hypocrites. Because when I posted a nurse, an enrolled nurse, to a health center, I expected that nurse, if a person came with a wound, she would clean it and stitch it. And yet we would say, this is for clinical officers, this is for doctors. It's not going on. The nurses are trained to do all these things. They can do them even better than, I would not say than who. But they are able because they are trained, and once their legislation is there, they have something to cover them legally, and nobody will come and challenge them. And this is important. The reason why I'm saying this is that this must be done in a unified manner. Nurses in this country, from the highest to the lowest, you must see your profession as one. You must see yourself as one army fighting one common enemy, the disease and ignorance. Therefore, all the other matters should be forgotten when you know that whatever you are fighting for, whatever you are asking to be done, it is for the betterment of the nursing profession in this country. We would not have been where we are today if we did not have forceful nurses fighting without thinking of themselves. We were thinking about those young people who are sitting there, that one day I'll stand like I'm standing here today to celebrate 50 years of nursing education at the university level. 50 years seeing our nurses as professors of nursing in this wonderful, wonderful field. So unity is strength. And nurses of Kenya, I want to take this opportunity to ask you, in front of all these others who are not nurses, that if you don't unite, very soon you are not going to have a profession. In this century, there will be countless developments, innovations and challenges. Conventional practices in medicine will not be spared either. I hold the view that nurses of the 21st century must endeavor to be multi-skilled and ready to undertake research in nursing and implementation of science. Nurses, therefore, should be prepared as consultants to guide care, not just at this high level, but even at the bedside level. That is what we are talking about. No matter how technically advanced our field in nursing gets, patients, my dear colleagues, will always need that human touch. You remember we used to talk about tender loving care? It has disappeared, but it must come back. We must bring it back. I feel that patients will always need that human touch. It doesn't matter how or where they are. The specialized healing, I believe, hands of the nurses is something which you cannot replace. You cannot replace. The role of a nurse cannot be overemphasized. Patients need to hear our voices, lifting their broken spirit. A nurse, I believe, is the most faithful advocate for patients. Why? Because she's on duty for 24 hours. She's there all the time. The others go and come. That is why we should jealously guard our profession. But despite these changes, there are human traits that won't change. In as much as they are diminishing fast, supply and demand will certainly put a very high premium to these human attributes. I would like to challenge you, particularly you nurses of Kenya, to conduct studies along these lines of very simple studies about how we care for our nurses, how we care about our patients, why are they not satisfied, what is it that we are not doing, what can we do, and maybe it will be something we can be the role model of other countries. It would be interesting to see how important this human touch we are talking about is to a patient. As I conclude, ladies and gentlemen, being a nurse, I believe, is a noble and honorable profession. And it is a true honor and pleasure to speak before you during this auspicious occasion as we mark this wonderful time, 50 years, in Kenya at university level and growing stronger. When I began this journey, I always believed one day we would be a fraternity of great worth. And I am extremely pleased at how far we have come. And I also see how far we are going to go. This is not to say it has not been without its hardships, but it has been a worthy challenge. We must remember, as nurses, we have the opportunity to heal the mind, body, no matter how technically advanced our field gets. I believe patients will always need that human touch, and they will want us to be with them. I would like to end by begging you all to support this department. The Vice Chancellor has, and those who have spoken have said how much they have supported the department. We thank you for your understanding. We believe that, as I say, unity is strength. And if you did not work as a team, you would not have been where you are. We salute you, nurses of Kenya. We salute you, the leadership of the Department of Nursing in this university, and we wish you all the best. I wish you also Merry Christmas and a very, very happy 2019, and God bless you.